All right. What's up, Panther Nation? This is your boy, Big Brother A, here with Carolina Boys Frathouse Podcast. I'm currently on travel, but I made it, and gonna see if Big Brother J is able to join us a little bit later. But we're gonna do a quick live reaction, okay, of the Panthers versus Jaguars preseason game. Um, Mainly just focusing on first string offense. Okay, we're gonna have some starters out, mainly on defense. Okay, so Derek Brown's out, Devin Lloyd he's not playing, Jalen Phillips. None of those guys playing, and they're not playing because we already know more or less what we want on saw or whatever on defense. Okay, we don't really care about the defense, and I know that's going to be shocking to a couple of Panther fans, a good bit of Panther fans. A lot of people did not like the defense and the Veros during the joint practice. Okay, our defense struggles against tight ends, struggles against wide receivers in the middle. It seems like that's going to probably continue for the season. Um, so But we're not worried about that, okay? But offense, I believe Lewis and Hunt are playing, okay? So we're about to have our starting O line. I'm going to be focusing on them specifically uh, while I give this reaction. And I would encourage everybody to focus on the O line as well. From what I've heard from the joint practice, we we struggled. Our O line struggled mightily, so we might have a very big O line problem. And that's concerning because if our O line is terrible, we're gonna go back to Bryce Young's first season where he took about you know looked horrible, took about close to 60 plus sacks. So you know, let's hope we don't have that because we've poured in too much resources into our O line. Okay, and I know we have the injuries to Moten and Icky, but we've poured a lot of resources into our O line, and for the O line to be horrible would be just a gross waste of resources. But yeah, man, game is gonna start in about 5, 6, 7 minutes. Another thing I want to focus on is just the comfortability of Bryce Young. Let's see how he looks. They're going to be fans. I would call them eternal optimists fans, or player optimist fans. And every franchise, every team needs that. Okay, even though you're not going to get that here at Frathouse Podcast. You're not going to get just everything's okay until it's not. No, you're not going to get that. All right. Preseason matters for us. Why does it matter? Because since Canales been here, we've been having slow starts and poor preseason play. Okay, I believe his total record is like 1-7, 1-8, and we've started the season slow and unprepared as well. So we've been 1-3 each season. Dave Canales has been head coach. So if we look sorry, we've already looked poor against the Bills. If we look poor in this preseason game, I'm just going to believe we're going to start the season 1-3. Same old shit. But they have an opportunity to change that. All right, we just need something from the first string offense to be optimistic about. Okay, that's all we need, and we should be able to get that against the Jaguars. But let me go ahead and get get a little bit more set up. But like I said, I'll be here as soon as the game starts. Going to go not necessarily do play by play, but I will be watching the game live and giving a reaction to what we review. And like I said, hopefully my partner in crime, Big Brother Jay, is able to join before the game starts. but yeah, so in the next game to start in the next 6 7 minutes, let me go ahead and get adjusted, and I'll be right back. So stay tuned. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Game time is about to start. Let me go ahead and get set up. Let's get set up my little watch stream so I can keep track of the game. All right, I'm ready, man. Let's see. All right, let's see, man. Okay, it's game time, man. I really want to see how Canales has the. I want to see urgency. I want to see how Canales has the team prepared, man. I really hope it's not the same old shit. I really hope he sees that he really need the team to do something in this game. Oh man, this commercial showing Puka styling on us. I do not want to see this shit. All right, yeah, let's test it. Let's see. We're in Jacksonville. You know, we're the two expansion teams. Okay, and I'm catching this since I'm on travel. I'm catching this from the Jacksonville side, so I'm already gonna be a little ornery. They're gonna be pro Jacksonville. Okay, they got Bucky Brooks though. Bucky Brooks on the call. I'm a fan of Bucky Brooks. Okay, see, Jacksonville has offensive line problems. Hmm. So they have a third rounder that's Anton Harrison. That's left tackle. Seems they're saying he's been overperforming. Extremely good left. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, all right, man. All right. I don't want to hear about the Jacksonville linebacker competition. Stream. Let's refresh that. Now, also another thing, you know, I'm I'm watching the game. I'm streaming the game, so I believe it's going to be like a 5 to 10 second delay. So it might be I might be a little bit behind on the actual live game, but but don't worry, still gonna be giving you know expertise on the plays once I actually do see it. So Jacksonville is claiming that the starters isn't playing. So I wonder if he means the starters on offense and defense are just are no starters overall. Okay, I see it offense. So the starting offense is not playing against us. Okay, we receiving the ball first. Okay, like I said, defense. You know that's we probably agreed upon that before. Our starting defense isn't really playing, and their starting offense isn't playing. Okay, I think we saw enough probably in the joint practice, but see, I want okay. All right, Travis Etienne brought it back to like around 33. Okay, Etienne. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Starting offense. Okay, and I believe Jacksonville has. I'm gonna check to see, but I believe they at least have some of the starting linebackers. I'm gonna see if it was starting defense, but if not, come on, we gotta take advantage of this. Okay, yeah, we got Rob Hunt out there. We got the starting O line. All right, Bryce. Let's see, man. He looks a little nervous. All right, first play, and oh man. Okay, Bryce Young avoided a sack and a quick dump off pass. All right, I was worried there for a second. I was worried. Okay, that was about 5 yards. Come on. Oh man. Okay. All right, we was try to do a quick pass to T Mac. Got a flag, pass interference on defense. Hey, we'll take the first down. We'll take the first down. Okay, we'll take it. All right, Combs. Now, Combs is fighting for a starting spot. Okay, we're at half field. All right, I'm gonna have to use a different stream link, man. This stream keeps freezing. Okay, I think we went for a run, didn't get anywhere. That was a big thing. We were see Brooks didn't get anywhere. 1 yard. All right. Run play again. Okay, didn't really get much in that run again. Up the middle. I did see we got some push up there, but still, that's more so Jaguars defense is just playing for the run. Okay, Lane. All right, we did. Hurry up, hurry up. All right, Bryce. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh, line. Who was that? What the? Who the hell was that? No, I did not. All right, basically 3 and out. Nah, I did not like that. Oh man, Brooks did not do well in pass protection. Man, that's not a good series for our starting offense. Ooh, yeah, that was not a good series for Jonathan Brooks. And I had him listed as one of the things, man. As one of the highlights to focus on. Jonathan Brooks did not look good on that drive. 2 runs that didn't go anywhere, and then he missed the pass block to stop the blitzing linebacker. Linebacker almost got to Bryce. Bryce basically threw it away. Uh, you know, yeah, Jacksonville head coach looks happy. So let me take a note of that. We really only got about let's see 5 yards from Bryce avoiding a sack on the first play. I'm gonna note that Bryce had to avoid 2 sacks already. And let me just take note of that. He was able to do a dump off pass for 5 yards on that first avoidance. On that second one, he had to get it out quickly due to missed pass block by Brooks. That's not good. That's not good. We didn't do good just now. I guess we was trying to establish the run twice. Didn't really do well in both instances. And the third down pass, run pass. I'm not sure that fits Bryce. Like seemed like and this is something Greg Cosell talked about, saying like with the type of quarterback Bryce is, you have to do a run first offense. I disagree. I disagree. I don't fully disagree, but I disagree. Like with Bryce, for him to be comfortable, you have to just go all in on his passing. All right, you have to go all in on his passing for Bryce to be comfortable. Okay. Now the problem is Bryce struggles in those situations sometimes because he doesn't look to pass deep as probably as much as he should. So everything is, dink and dunk. But I mean, hey, that's what he's comfortable with. And if we could get it to where it was sort of like I say a Tom Brady-ish style offense, and just get his belief to throw deep a little bit more, I think it'll work. But we have to be a more of a passing offense. Okay, we can't be a run first offense and develop Bryce that way. All right, it's not going to work. If we're going to be a run first offense, I think we should strongly consider moving on from Bryce sooner rather than later. All right, because if we, like I said, if we're doing that, we're basically giving up on Bryce. All right, that's more so helping the team. That's more so helping Canales, and I think this next stream is probably going to be Canales versus Bryce. Okay, it's probably going to be Canales versus Bryce because I think that's at the end of the day that's the biggest problem with the team. It's Canales wants to coach one certain way, Bryce wants to play a certain way, and they haven't been able to mesh very well. Even though Canales I'm pretty sure he was brought on to be sort of a savior to Bryce. Okay, Mullins in at quarterback for Jacksonville. Like I said, we have Mike Jack out there, but I believe J.C. Horn isn't playing, Derek Brown isn't playing, Devin Lloyd isn't playing, Jalen Phillips isn't playing. But still, some players, you still want to see. We want to, I couldn't see who's starting either Trevor Wallace or Cherylis. I'll try to take note of that now. But oh man, okay, run defense is doing okay. We're doing okay. Let's see if we can stop them on third down. They're on third and short. Was that Cherylis? Yes, that was Cherylis. Okay, so Cherylis technically got the start. All right, so going off that, I think Cherylis is seen as maybe the favorite over Trevor Wallace, which I'm not mad at. Okay, Vera looks confused. And good stop, man. Good stop. 7. Who is that number 7? All right. Morig. There we go. Morig, listen, man. That's what we brought him for. Okay, Morig, 3 and out. All right, so our offense is going to get a second try with some good field position. Or should be good field position. Okay, we got, let's see, bringing it back. Oh my goodness, where's your agility? ETN might not be it for return. I know they're trying to find a way for him to get the ball in his hands. His vision as a returner seems very lacking. We did not get much back as we should have. I think we're like near the 30 on our side. But back with Morig, man, that's what we brought him in, man. He stopped, and he was cracking people in joint practice. That was like one of the fights started with him cracking one of the players, and that's what he does, man. He handles run defense and brings the hammer. We just need to complement him with coverage safety, and Nick Scott is not it, man. Nick Scott is not a good complement to Morig. We're going to struggle mightily if we force Nick Scott to stay as a starter. We have to, like I said, we have to see if it's between Ransom and Wheatley. But defense, hey, You know, even though it's the backup offense, they did what they're supposed to do, 3 and out. All right. Pardon me. Let's start an offense back out there. All right. So the shotgun eye. All right, we ain't going for a run. All right, go, go, go. All right, that probably been our best play this whole preseason. All right, run play, Jonathan Brooks. First down, 10 yards. 10 or 11 yards. Yeah, Monroe Freeland. It was a stretch run. They highlighted Monroe Freeland at right tackle. Okay, and we running hurry up offense. All right, tight end in motion. All right, wide open pass to Tommy Tremble. Okay, good catch. All right, Bryce. All right, we'll take it. Now, the play action was off, but he did make the pass. Now, I don't know if that was on Bryce's fault or Brooks, but Bryce play action to wrong direction. Brooks did manage to stop the blitzer on that play, but another first down. That's good. All right, so this is what we need to see: 2 back-to-back first downs. All right, and they are blitzing the hell out of Bryce. All right, quick pass, quick pass. All right, Jalen Coker. I believe that's about maybe 5-6 yards. Okay, on a drag route. All right, now Jacksonville is blitzing a lot. All right, they're blitzing a lot. So far, Bryce is handling the blitz well. Okay, another run. Yeah, Jacksonville stopped this. They were looking for the run. So, okay, for the rest of this, until we're able to get a touchdown, Jonathan Brooks is going out. I want us to pass, until we get in the end zone. Okay, I don't want us to run anymore. Okay, I see we're trying to establish, Jonathan Brooks, get him his legs. Okay, yeah, four wide receivers out. A 3 with a tight end. Oh, wait. Bryce Young, okay, in the middle. Is that T-Mac? T-Mac. All right. There we go, Bryce. There we go, offense. All right, Bryce, strike in the middle to T-Mac. And Bryce actually, stepped up into that pass. That's, like I said, that's something we really want to see more of Bryce. And, we've been hearing about the connection Bryce and T-Mac has. It's very strong. You see that on that play. Okay, well, someone's hurt. Let's see. Hold on. Let's hold on a quick second. Okay, we back. Okay. Play. All right, quick play action. All right, to quick pass to T Mac. All right, right at the end zone. And that's what I'm talking about. Like I say, pass the rest of these plays. Let's pass on this play too. Okay, we're like, a yard from the end zone. Okay, it was a play action pass. Quick strike to T Mac. All right, so definitely a difference with Hunt and Lewison. Okay, quick pass 87. Oh no. Let's see. Oh man, what the heck? That's probably play action on Jacksonville's defense. We try to do a little play action. Seemed like Bryce is getting lost with trying to, do the fake handoff to Brooks. Yeah, pass interference on Jacksonville's defense. A holding. Yeah, it was a hold. I guess he held on Jonathan Brooks' side. He was going to be open for the touchdown. Um, on 56 for the Jacksonville. I guess that's a heads up play. You see, he about to walk in for a touchdown. Uh, you know what I would like to see? A quarterback sneak with Bryce. He's not going to do it, but I would like to see it. Quarterback sneak. Wait. Bryce changing something at the line. Uh, all right, run in right in Jonathan Brooks. All right, touchdown. Touchdown. So good run, good touchdown run. I don't mind that run because we was right there, right at the end zone 1 yard line. You already had a would have been a touchdown, would have been a quick dump off pass to Brooks, but like I said, with the pass interference, it's so close. And great bullet, man. Walker and Lewis cleared that out, along with I don't know who, if that was a tight end or if that was Bryson Tremaine, wide receiver, but they cleared that out for Brooks very well. Um, yeah. All right, this is what we wanted to see, man. This is what we wanted to see. Now, I wonder if the starters will stay in. They might, I wonder if they're going to do another series. Okay, I'll say, they didn't necessarily start slow this time, but they did. It wasn't smooth. Okay, we had a pass interference call. We didn't really do much with back-to-back runs and an almost sack. But this next drive, we ran hurry up. We ran the ball well, and we did because of that. We played off play action very well. Okay. Um, and if I'm looking at that, it seems like that's what Canales and Isnick wants our offense to be. We want to be a run first, play action offense, quick dump or big open offense, but we want to run off play action. So if that's the case, Chuba and Brooks, it's going to be a lot of work for them. It would be very good if Brooks, he did look good running the ball. It would be very good if he peaks some elite ability. That would be great for us if he peaked some elite running back ability. Uh, that would help the offense and the style of offense Canales is putting together. And that helped Bryce out a whole lot as well. Now, like I said, this is the offensive style that Greg Cosell and is stating that it would be best for Bryce. I think this is easier for Bryce, but I don't think it's the best as far as his development. But hey, this is better for Jonathan Brooks, and that's good. Okay, and like I said, looking at Jacksonville, this isn't necessarily their starting defense. Okay, uh, these are guys. These are a lot of guys that are trying to be starters, but we'll take it. We'll take it. That's what we're supposed to do. All right. Now I want to see if after this series for our defense, if the starters will go back out there on offense. And if you're on, please like and subscribe. Building up this channel. So just take a moment and just like and subscribe. Okay, I see Chuba over there next to Jonathan Brooks. Okay, looking at we still got our start. We still got a good bit of our starters on defense out there. Okay. Another guy that did not play. Another guy that did not play is Cam Jackson. I think he's probably solidified his spot as D tackle as a starter, which is good. It was real good. He was brought in with a potential as a nose tackle. I think he'll play well. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm not necessarily doing a play-by-play. The Jacksonville offense got a penalty for holding. Quick pass. I want to see how the offense does. That's what I'm focusing on. First string offense. Okay, who is that? Number 19. Little good stop, good little route on our corner on Mike Jack. Let me see who's number 19 for the Jaguars. Okay, Josh Cameron. Okay, Jacksonville's second string started driving on our defense. Got it. All right, man. Right now, Jacksonville is sort of running off play action a lot. So they did quick play action pass, got the first down. Um, Good tackle by Shaw Smith Wade. Let's see if we throw some blitz at them. You know, they made it to midfield. Let's see if we hit them with a blitz. Ooh, good pass across the middle. Jacksonville. Okay, maybe a Vero don't need to blitz. Okay, maybe blitzing isn't good for a Vero. Um, and Jacksonville is sort of doing a little hurry up. So they sort of hitting us back with what our last drive was. Okay, like I said, I'm not as worried about the defense, but yeah, I'm not as worried about the defense. But I know a lot of people are not gonna like this series. Okay, a lot of people are not gonna like this series because I'm sort of seeing a pattern on who they're attacking and how the passes are going, and I'm pretty sure all other 31 teams are looking at this if this continues because this seems to be very consistent with Avero's defensive weakness. Okay, we got like I say, we got him in a third down situation, third and short. Come on, Lee Hunter. Okay. Hey, it seems like we're sort of going to give them the first down with the way this defense is lined up. Oh, oh, good fake out. Good fake out on their part. Seems like we tried to run a lax blitz, but it was a quarterback keeper. We sort of bid on it. Bid on the quarterback keeper, went for the running back. Quarterback kept it. Good play call on their part. So Mullins is at the 20. They're 20. Oh man, good run by the running back. Okay, so Jacksonville first and goal. The running back got about like 15 yards. Oh wait, flag. What was that? All right, Jacksonville. Ooh, man, man. He Mullins. He stood in the pocket for that hit. and delivered the pass, but a wide receiver for them dropped it. Yeah, 43. He was looking at the hit instead of securing the pass. Could have got to the 1 yard line. Okay, let's see if we get to stop this 3rd and goal for them. They're on the 10 yard line, so they have to get 10 yards. Mullins sack. Okay, good stuff. All right, who was that? 91. Seemed like Princely overran it. He could have had it, but Princely overran it. But 91 cleaned it up. Yeah, that's Patrick Jones. Which I think he, better, better all around player. Good play on his part. So yeah, like I said, good on defense, man. They didn't let him get the touchdown.
Hey, bro, word that word for me.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Let's see. We got Big Brother Jay. Let's see if we could get him on the stream. So hold on a second. Yeah, guys. Let's see if the starting offense go back out there for the series. I actually would really like the starting offense to go back for another drive. But maybe Canales have seen enough, especially since Jacksonville didn't play the starting offense at all. But he said they didn't earn another try. Let's let's see if they earn another series. The offense. We did 3 against the Bills. All 3 was horrible or bad. Let's see if we do 3 for this game. All right, J.C. Horn talking with Bryce. They seem to be pretty close friends, J.C. Horn and Bryce Young. Knowing that, top 100 NFL players, they supported each other pretty. Both supported each other in each other's, ranking. Okay. All right, Jimmy Horn. Yeah, Jimmy Horn is definitely a better returner than ETN. ETN could be the backup one, but Jimmy Horn has better vision. Try to do a little bit too much there at the end, but definitely much better returner than ETN. Yeah, so keep, if that's the case, I think Jimmy Horn sort of solidified his spot on the team. He's the best returner. All right, so yeah, man, I think that's it for the starting offense. Yeah, that was it for the starting offense. ETN is in, Pickett, you know, all the backup old linemen. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so what did we think about that? You know, I'll say this. Like I said, I don't mind him stopping it because like I said, Jacksonville, they did not play their starters at all. You leave, you stop them on a high note. Bryce 5 for 6 touchdown drive. Um, and I wouldn't say I'm totally happy. We've done that before last year where we struggled, got a drive, and then didn't push it after that. Uh, I think our offensive team might need a little bit more push. And if you're not going to do the push in that game, maybe do one series in the final preseason game. They might not, but my worry isn't completely alleviated. I am glad that I saw some positivity, that's against the backups. Are a good bit of backups on Jaguars defense. But still you want. You can't even see. But like I said, some positivity. But at least you rather see that than struggling against a team's backups. Which we could have been heading or struggling against backups that's fighting for start position. We could have been headed there if we had did the same thing like the first series. But yeah, man, still good. If you like I said, if you single out that drive, I think it's sort of clear the type of offense Canales wants to run, and I'll go into that deeper. Like I said, we got Big Brother Jay trying to jump on. I'll go into that a little bit deeper if he's able to jump on, and he could give his insight on that. But oh man, Kenny Pickett, that did not look good from Kenny Pickett. Jeez. But the starting O line looked good, man. They look good, especially since Jacksonville was blitzing on every play. Kenny Pickett, man, what the hell? Yeah, Yeah, that was a horrible pass, Kenny Pickett. Jesus, yo, 87 was wide open, and Kenny Pickett. My goodness, what a horrible pass. I don't know what. Yeah, Bryson Tremaine. Yeah. Yeah, that was a horrible pass to Bryson Tremaine, who was wide open for the first down, by the way. Yeah, so 3 and out for the backup offense. But the O line actually did well. Kenny Pickett, he sort of double clutched before throwing whatever that was, but that was a horrible pass. Yeah, and there was talks that Kenny Pickett just did not look good at all. And since arriving at Carolina and, looking at that, man, that has not changed. Like, yeah, that was a horrible pass by Kenny Pickett. It looked like even a horrible attempt. I don't know what he was doing. He was, jumping, double clutching it. Like, what the hell? He had a wide open player. Like, why are you double and triple clutching when you got a wide open player for the first down? Let's see. Defense. We still got the starting defense out there? Okay, maybe Canales wanted to evaluate the defense a little more. Let's see. No. Okay, no. Okay, he took the starters out from defense. Okay, no problem. He took the starters out. You know, um, oh man, the Panthers did an article about Nick with Nick Scott in it, man. I don't know what they see with Nick Scott, man. It's something I'm not seeing. Okay, it's something I'm not seeing. Oh man, Jack, what was that? Okay, I wasn't paying attention. Uh, Jacksonville Abdullah just got a big pickup. That Yeah, they ran the ball. Just nice cut on the corner, man. Nice cut on our corner. Trying to go for the tackle, and just got a big pickup. They just ran the ball. Yes, Shaw Smith Wade. He got juked out his socks, man. Come on, man. I was just complimenting you, Smith Wade, man. Okay, what's up, broski? I hear you now, man. You hear me? Okay, broski, you hear me? Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Let me um lop you in here. Just give me 1 sec. I know you can't really see anything. Right now The backup offense for the Jaguars going against the backup defense, and they sort of driving it at half. Oh, okay, they got a false start. But let me see, lop you in there now. Okay, no problem. Let's. All right, all right, everybody. We got Big Brother Jay on. Let me give you a little summary, man. Like I said, you got the stream going on. So, it Jacksonville, they didn't play any of their starting offense. The whole starting offense rested, and they had a couple players playing for start position on defense, but they didn't really play a good bit of starters on the defense either. The offense looked shaky the first series, man. They got a first down from pass interference, but they went basically, like I said, 3-4 and out. They did back to back runs. Then they tried to do like a play act, like a pass play on third down, but Jonathan Brooks, he missed his pass block. Guy almost sacked Bryce. And but on the second series, all right, we got like two back-to-back first downs, both off runs. We had a good pass to T-Mac, a couple good passes to T-Mac, and even one to Jalen Coker. We were running a lot of play action. We were doing a lot of runs and passes off play action, but we scored a touchdown pretty much off that. So and let me check real quick. Okay, I guess it's still going. I'll ask you what you think about all that in a minute. Did they get to stop? You know what? Yeah, it's on commercial now. Okay. Yeah, so it seems like, man, we really want to run the ball first and then pass off play action offense. And this is what I was thinking, off of that. Like, I think that's the best thing for the best course of action for the team, because that's what we were doing when Rico Dotto was balling, and we were able to do consistent offense. I'm not sure how much that's going to help Bryce Young himself at quarterback, because he's basically back seat to the offense now. So it's almost like it's more important that Jonathan Brooks and Chuba, or I'll say Jonathan Brooks. It's more important that Jonathan Brooks is really, really good than if Bryce Young is good. But I mean, he went, 5 for 6. He was, he got a little connection with T-Mac. Some good passes to T-Mac, including one where he actually stepped into the pass. Just I just wonder. I'm sort of back and forth on if we should run that style of offense, or if we should go all in on what Bryce wants to do, which is like 4 wide, 3 wide receiver wide, and just passing to open up the run game. And what I was saying before was that's what Bryce wanted to do. I just don't think Bryce is good at it. So I think they don't trust him to do that. So the guy, NFL, analyst Greg Cosell, he was saying we have to be a run first offense to make Bryce work. But man, I've been talking enough, man. What do you think? Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold up. We lost Big Brother J. Man. Let's see if he uh-oh. Yeah, we're gonna have to see if we can catch him back. Meanwhile, Devin Lloyd, he's interviewing now, talking about, I guess leaving for Carolina, going to Jacksonville. Okay, Bryson Tremaine, man, he's like, he's probably gonna keep a spot as well on the team. Seems like we like him a lot. Better pass by Kenny Pickett on that one. Okay. Oh man, who's? Oh hey, 19. Listen, 15. Who was that? Jimmy Horn. Oh man, Jimmy Horn, man. Jimmy Horn, was that a roundabout? Yeah, great roundabout run, man. I was gonna say that speed. Who is that with that speed? That's Jimmy Horn Jr. Oh man, he's very slight though, because 25 didn't really tackle him, but just him being close made Jimmy Horn stumble. Jimmy Horn, I feel like he should have been able to, keep going. But still, big run by Jimmy Horn Jr. And that's, like I said, that's another one. I think Jimmy Horn is going to have a spot on this team. Okay, all right, Isnick. He seemed like he's dialing it up. All right, come on, Kenny Pickett, 31. Seemed like he shouted something. Oh, Kenny Pickett, another horrible pass. Kenny Pickett, you had him. Okay, he wants to go for it. Yeah, like Kenny Pickett, what the fuck? Kenny Pickett, 31, wide open 84. He overthrew him. Okay, and 84, all he did was a simple, flat route to get the 1 yard. He was open. Evans, he was open. Kenny Pickett missed him. Kenny Pickett, man, his throwing accuracy seems to be wildly erratic. Okay, did we get that? I'm not sure if we got that first down. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, we got it. Okay, we ran it for the first down. But I like that play call by Isnick, man. But my goodness, Kenny Pickett. Okay, with him, if he's playing like this, I don't think we had to worry about him. Doing a competition with Bryce. And I think that, to be honest, I believe that's why we picked him up. Like, we don't want any. They didn't want any potential starter or any competition. But hey, we're getting that from Haynes King anyway, so. Kenny Pickett, all right. Hey. Oh, man, that pass interference? Nah. It seemed like he overthrew him. Yeah, so Kenny Pickett went for a deep pass. He sort of overthrew Bryson Tremaine. So they didn't call pass interference. The DB was in front of Bryson Tremaine. Seemed like he was, playing for the long pass. The DB tripped. But he was looking for the ball, and it was sort of just a bad, call to go for that pass. But man, dialing up a pass like that, I would like to see Bryce take passes like that more. Like, it seemed like that part of our offense isn't possible with Bryce. Like, anything past 30 yards, he's just not going to go for it as much. Unless it's, unless it's extremely favorable for our wide receiver. And you can't be that gun shy at quarterback to be successful in this league. Okay, 3rd and 7. Kenny Pickett, he jumped back. Oh, did he catch it? Okay, he caught it. David Moore. And a flag, too. I don't know what the flag is, but Kenny Pickett does this sort of weird holding, so sadly, that didn't count. Kenny Pickett, I've noticed this just now, he does this weird sort of jump back in the pocket. It's very, very weird. His footwork in the pocket is not good. It's like a jittery jump back. It puts him. It sort of puts him off kilter when he doesn't need to be. He didn't have any pressure on him or anything. I don't know why, But it's a 3rd and 17. We're probably gonna just run a quick screen. Yeah, that was just a quick pass. Yeah, he got to stop. We probably, just going for the field goal. Okay, let's see. We gonna see if we're gonna get Big Brother Jay back on. He's having computer problems. But it's the right time. If we get this thing right, commercial break. And pardon, guys, I'm eating now, but yo, I yo, Jay, I see you. Let me. I see you back in the. Let me see something. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Okay. You back? Yeah. You're back in the room. So I already got you set back up. Let me see if I. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. So you're good to go. Uh oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So from what you just heard and what we doing now, what do you think so far? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. And I'll say this: I don't know who the Jaguars' old coordinator is, man, but he's playing aggressive with his second team. I'll at least give him that. Um, but you know, this what I worry about. This what I worry about with what I've seen so far. I'm worried that we're putting our offense in the hands of Jonathan Brooks versus putting our hands in the offense of Bryce Young. So, if the run game, it seems like if the run game don't get going, our offense not going to be able to do anything. And we had like Lewis and Robert Hunt back. They definitely saw a difference with them playing versus Zavala at left guard, and Forsyth at right. But like I said, I would rather, since we put so much resources into getting Bryce, I would rather, hey, if the offense doesn't work, it's because Bryce, he's not able to do to get his passing offense going. Not like, hey, we got this in control of the run game and Jonathan Brooks and Chuba can't get going, so now offense can't do anything. Like, it's like, you do that if you have like Christian Ponder and Adrian Peterson on the team. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to, do you want me to think of Bryce as Christian Ponder? Because, I can. If so, then we need to get rid of Bryce after the season or look to replace him. And, to be honest, man, they might already be sort of looking that way. But yeah, man, like I said, we did that against, like I said, not really the starters. I've been hearing all week that joint practice that our offense was getting beat down. I was actually hoping the first string offense played a little bit longer. We only did 2 drives. It's like, hey man, we got that touchdown, and Canales is like, that's it. That's all I want to see. I think it was just he saw what he wanted to see. He just, it's like, hey, you guys did this good job. I'm gonna leave y'all off on a high. And the thing I see with him is he's real big on like sort of mood and like, doing things on a high and like, rather than like, hey, let's set like a sort of angry statement. Like, hey, y'all guys didn't do well, so y'all gonna play, 4 drives no matter what type coach. Instead, he's like, okay, I saw what I need to see. Like, offense did 1 good drive, sit down. And yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's okay. That's exactly what I was thinking, man. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, yo, uh, after the last game, and and really, man, all the way back to these past preseason games, man, like, and I didn't see what just happened, but Panthers, we scored again. Um, I didn't know how did we get down the field so fast. I didn't see what happened, but I think Kenny Pickett is done. Let me see. Oh, who's 28? ETN. Yeah, see that's what I'm saying. I think ETN is a better running back than like they trying to make him a returner. He's not a returner. Like he needs to be the backup running back. But my bad. I got sidetracked. Like yeah, I want like I said, I want to see another drive from the first string offense. Uh J. Oh man. But I guess like you guys here, I want to see more fun. I said it earlier. I was like, I wanted to see one more drive. Just we did 3 drives against the Bills. Let's do 3 drives here, and then you could call it. Let's just do another drive. Let's just see, hey, let's try something different. Let's try Bryce. Like I said, Bryce throwing. I want to see him throw most of the drive. Just try it, man. Just try it. I mean, you're going against backups. You already got a touchdown drive in. Like, hey, if it goes bad or 3 and out, it's like, hey, we got that 1 touchdown drive in. But seems like Canales differs. But oh, that was AJ Dillon. Excuse me. I was giving that credit to ETN. That was AJ Dillon with the touchdown run and like the big run. Oh, shout out that man! Shout out to the children's book, Quadzilla, AJ Dillon. Okay, so hey man, Travis Etienne and AJ Dillon. Oh man, yeah, like I said, I think Big Brother Jay might be down for the count. Um, so that's gonna be interesting, man. I do like all four running backs are good. You just keep them all. Etienne could maybe be a backup returner. I wouldn't count on it. Maybe we should try somebody else as a backup returner. I think Jimmy Horn is your guy. And then we maybe try somebody else, another wide receiver at backup returner. But you don't have to if Jimmy Horn's the guy. I think Jimmy Horn is your guy. Well, let me see what it's saying. You know, Panther Nation. On the forums and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of people very happy with AJ Dillon, which I am as well. He. Oh man, yeah. See, yeah, I think they starting to put like the third stringers in, second string probably. That is that Mullins? I don't even know if that's Mullins at quarterback for Jacksonville anymore. But good pressure by the backup defense. Big Lee Hunter. He needs this playing time. You know, a D tackle, especially run stopping DTs, they usually take a year or two to really get wide open, quick pass. Yeah, good call by the old coordinator. Great call. Dropped by Jacksonville. And okay, Big Brother J, I see you're back on. I was just about to text you, man. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, man. Listen, man. These wide receivers, whoever for Jacksonville, are not good, but man, their old coordinator is dialing up some good calls at least. You know, their offense not doing anything with it. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. You know, dog. You know, I was just saying this, man. Um, I was like, Kenny Pickett actually went for a deep pass. Now that shit was horrible what he did, but I was like, why don't we have that as part of our game? You know, our game plan, our offense, like a 30-yard pass try. And see, they just actually went back to that and got pass interference. God damn. Who was 43? Yeah, see, when you go back to back with calls like that, and man, you can and that um man 43 is that's not Morik, is it? Let me see who. Oh, yeah, I don't even. Dog, that we got a corner named Devonta Smith. Yeah, yeah, he got to be new, man. Listen, I only know the Devonta Smith from the Eagles, the wide receiver, but that's who did the that's who did the pass interference. But see, because they throw the ball deep, he's calling up. You can get calls like that because you know what I'm saying. They're not just looking for just plays within the first 10 to 20 yards all the time. And man, you think about like even Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady was he's primarily known as a dink and dunk passer, and they had him with like guys like Wes Welker and what's my guy name Julian Edelman, and then even what's the other wide receiver? What's the Yeah, he's another sort of like slottish wide receiver. It was Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, and then this guy they got from the Rams. Let me see. What's his name? But I'll get his name in a minute. But like eventually they got Randy Moss to open up that offense, man. You get what I'm saying? Then they started going for just guys like even like Brandon LaFell. They started realizing like, hey, you can open up that offense with a deep threat wide receiver or somebody who can catch more than whose game is more so deep catching ability. And let me see. It's not Brandon Cooks, man. What's the Joker name? It's gonna come to me, man, because I remember the dude he played with Sam Bradford. Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola. There we go. But we running that dink and dunk offense. Like, come on, man. You trying to tell me T-Mac? Well, T-Mac showed it last year. He can catch a 30-yard pass. Yeah, okay. Man, but yeah, like main thing is, man, why is that not part of our offense? Like I said, man, just in that good drive we did, okay, man, we did some good runs, we did some good passes off play action, some good hurry up passes, and it worked. Like I said, it worked for that series. But I would really like to see like a play action bomb, like a play action 40-yard pass. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah. I think they don't believe he's going to take advantage of it, so they don't call it. Um, Bryce. Bryce plays very similar to Teddy Bridgewater, and the big difference between like Bryce and Bridgewater versus someone like Brady. Brady he passes that dink and dunk passing style extremely well. Like he works the pocket extremely well too. Like but he can also you throw like a speed wide receiver, he can make, take advantage of that too. He's done that with like, Deion Branch. He's done that with Brandon Cooks, Brandon LaFell. Like anybody that's quick, he can take advantage of that as well. You know what I'm saying? With Bridgewater and Bryce Young, it seems like their problem is they don't work the pocket well. So if they can't, sort of dink and dunk pass, like they hold on to the ball a little bit longer, and then they, susceptible to get sacked. And technically, the stats look good because it's like, oh, okay, he's not throwing that many interceptions, but it's like you're not doing shit on offense either. You know what I'm saying? You only got 100 yards passing. And, Bridgewater, man, He did throw deep a good bit with, Robbie Anderson and Curtis Samuel. But I think it wasn't, when he was with us, man, it seemed like he struggled to like get comfortable with that. So they were like, hey, we gonna try to replace him with Sam Darnold. Right. Super Bowl champion. Listen, man. And look at this, man. He came back with the Vikings first. Had them 14 wins and 33 losses and was balling out with them. The Vikings don't sign him back. The guy who they started is benched, J.J. McCarthy. The offense didn't do anything when Sam Darnold left. My man goes to the Seahawks, win a Super Bowl. Since then, since leaving us, and it was like, hey, we don't know what we're gonna do with him. My man, yeah. Man, I, yeah, man. I think, man, he's one of the quarterbacks he probably needed to watch for 2 years, and I do think we helped him a little bit when Steve Wilkes took over and was like, hey, we're gonna run you as sort of like I say, run first quarterback offense, and but him just sitting down after that and like growing, he just really really grew with the Vikings, and he's always had the talent with passing in, even just a little bit of scrambling, but he just happened to just put it together with the Vikings and then put it together again with the Seahawks. And Seahawks not even paying him that much. That's the crazy thing, man. He still got he got 2 more years on that contract, and he's not making that much, so they could pay whoever else they want until maybe that 3rd year. Yeah, who is this week? Is this Cal? Yeah, I'm about to say. All right, man. Listen, I'm surprised we actually went for that, man. Ain't got it, but all right. All right, Fitzgerald. See, but I see stuff like that and see how we was a little aggressive with Kyle Trask at quarterback. And, we went for the little extra yardage to do a 61-yarder. And I see, like I said, Kenny Pickett is doing horrible with it, but we're, giving him aggressive calls. I don't see them calls with Bryce. I did like the hurry up. They did some hurry up. I did like that, but hey, throw a quick slant in the middle. We definitely don't do them passes. Oh, Haynes King, hands down. Yeah, hands down, Haynes King. yeah. And it almost seemed like it shocked the team, not even just the defense, but the team. Just him having that type of arm, and even running too. Just him being able to run. It seemed like our playbook like completely open. We start doing RPOs where the quarterback actually can run. And he even scored a touchdown off of that. We started going for like 30-yard passes, and yeah, man. I think he has the best like strength and touch off that. Kenny Pickett. Man, I think just watching him just now, man. I think I see the problem with him. His arm is extremely weak. Kenny Pickett, he might have like the same problem Bryce has. They both have like extremely weak arms. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess just, naturally he must does not have a strong arm, but he was doing this little double clutch thing when for some of these close wide open passes, and I don't know what the hell he was doing, but it was some double clutch thing, and then he was missing the pass. And I'm like, man, why are you double clutching? It's an open pass. But I don't know if he's shell shocked. Yeah, I think it's force of habit. And and you know what I'm learning, man? I'm learning a lot of these guys coming in now got like some, habits with play style that's not necessarily good for the NFL or carries over well to the NFL, and you sort of got to break them out of it. And I think that's what helps Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold has some really bad habits, and I think he was able to overcome them for the most part. And just like with Bryce, I think he got, I think his bad habit is he's a backward scrambler. Him and Bridgewater are both backward scramblers. And what I mean by that is if they don't step into the pocket, they step back. And they, throw back like that. And he's throwing off his back foot a lot. But yeah, Bryce is gonna have to break that and learn how to like plant his foot and like throw. Yeah, and yeah, follow through. Yeah, it's like boxer's punch when you can't like plant and put your hip into the punch. And the funny thing, man, Haynes King, I think they said he had a bad habit with his passing throwing motion in college, but it seemed like he didn't have, it seemed like either he uh achieved a different motion once he got a shot with us or worked on it, because I didn't see that problem with him in that game. And I'm gonna be honest, man, I just saw Haynes King like in the back, in the sideline talking. Haynes King is not hurt, man. Yeah, I think they just sitting him out there and it's like, yo, you gotta let's see what we can do with Bryce, and see if he can do something similar. Like, like I said, I really think, man, that Hall of Fame game sort of like put pressure on Bryce and Dave Canales. Like, whoa, this Joker just came in and balled out. And yeah, I don't think he's that hurt. He might have got a little injured, but I think he could have played. Probably could have played. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, man. Listen, man. Haynes King should play in this preseason game and the next one, and you would want to see, hey, was the Hall of Fame game a fluke, or is he actually a baller? You know, yeah, yeah, like okay, yeah, yeah. Like I want to see if you could do it week to week, and if he don't have to play exactly extremely well, but if I still see like talent, if we still see talent, like whoa, this Joker can consistently throw the ball deep. His run ability actually consistently helps the offense. And I want to see him with some other guys, and hey, throw him with the starters to just see how he plays with the starters. But I think another thing I'm learning about Canales, man, he got a seems like a strict loyalty with certain with like starters and stuff. And it's like with Chuba and Rico, like Chuba gets hurt, Rico comes in, Rico start balling. Normally, I would be like, hey, listen, we got to ride Rico because he's basically saving our season. Like, even if he's not putting up 200-yard games more, he's balling. He should keep doing 100-yard games. He's keeping our offense flowing extremely well. And instead, Canales went like, okay, we're gonna try to rush. Chuba tried to rush back when he wasn't healthy, and it dampened the whole offense. And Canales, he has to step in and be like, hey man, I'm the head coach. I'm making the call that Rico is the starter right now. He's playing, and Canales didn't do that. And man, yeah, man. If you see what's that series called, Hard Knocks with the Seahawks, man, I could see McDonald, man, the head coach for the Seahawks, man, just seeing how he coached, and he's like, yo, this is how we doing things. I'm like, man, I see how they won the Super Bowl. Yeah, yeah, he don't play any games, man. He had somebody going towards Sam Darnold, and he was like, hey, yo, man, I told you not, we not having players run toward the quarterback. And Joker did it again. He was like, hey, man, you going home for the week. And he's like, hey, the players arguing back, and he was like, nah, man, you was doing that shit. I'm the head coach. Like, basically, what I say is what's going on. And I was like, yeah, man, yeah, I think, man, I think it just, I think, I've heard somebody talk about this. The players that try to make the team, it's always a can't do right player. And I think he was just one of them can't do right players. Like, I don't, yeah, extra chippy. They say like generally they might mess up and hurt somebody, the starter or something. And they trying too hard to make an impression on the team, and they end up making a bad impression. Yeah, Right, right, and mm-hmm, and like yeah, man. So like yeah, them type of players, man. Like I say, just can't do like I say can't do right players, and it seems like there's every team got one when you get in training camp, and um, from what I'm um from what I've been seeing from the tight ends, man, I think your boy gonna be gone, Jatavius Sanders. Yeah, man. He seemed like they gave him a sort of shot with this because he was in sort of the starting series and he didn't do anything, man. I think probably the end of the training camp because you know it, they're probably gonna get my man Darryl Waller to play a little bit or at least work out more in his last preseason game. Nah, he didn't play in this game. I don't know, man. Canaz might feel like, hey, listen, he older. I don't need to, I don't need him to, you know, jump in. Yeah, see, like I said, man, that's another thing, man. You know, old boy probably could use the reps in our so-called offensive style to see what he can do. See, I don't know. Like everything I've heard, he's like not like say doing stuff either doing stuff on his own. That's pretty much it. I haven't heard like oh he was down in Jacksonville going against the ones anything. Nope, he didn't participate in any of that. Right, right. I don't get it either, man. Like I said, I don't get it either, and um, hmm but look at. I will say this: could Tommy Tremble end up getting those targets? Um, I could see how Darren Waller would eat in this style of offense that Isnick is calling. Because it's I'm gonna tell you who's gonna lose out in this offense. And surprisingly, he didn't play this game for some reason. Xavier Leggett. So the offense, it seemed like it's T Mac. If we're gonna pass, it's gonna be T Mac, then the tight ends, then Jalen Coker, and then that's pretty much it. Or the running back, Jalen Coker / running back. So I sort of see why they want Jonathan Brooks because he's supposedly really good out the backfield as a catcher, and I sort of see why they wanted. Remember, what's the guy named Casey Concepcion? They wanted a sort of wide receiver that can catch a quick screen and get like 5 yards or so. Which I do think Jimmy Horn can do that if he gets. Yeah, I think Jimmy Horn can do that if they give him a shot, man. Because he did a in around and got like 40 yards off that earlier. But I think he can do that as well. But I think if they want to run the offense off this sort of run, quick pass style, I think it got to be T Mac, Jalen Coker, Jimmy Horn Jr. And like you basically you going you pat T Mac is your first option, then your tight ends, and then if you want to dump off pass or like look at Jalen Coker every now and then you can, but then Jimmy Horn is gonna be that one that do like end arounds or doing like the little smoke passes. And that's pretty much your offense. That's pretty much the offense around Bryce and whatever they're calling. And Um, Xavier Leggett, it seemed like, like I said, I don't even know if he was hurt, man. I think they say he did get. They say Wednesday he got rolled up on or something like that. But yeah, like he got like a slight like ankle sprain or something like that. Hold up. Forced fumble. Okay, who's that? 24? 54? Martin Scott with the fumble, and who's that? Smith, who got the recovery? Gill, yeah, Gill. Yeah, Gill forced the fumble. Man, PFF really likes Cam Gill. Yeah, yeah, off that first Hall of Fame game, PFF was Cam Gill was like our highest, besides Haynes King. I think he was our highest scored player on defense. And like you said, I hope he makes the team and gets some burn, because it seemed like he's a very solid, outside linebacker. Yeah, I say I caught it just in time. Yeah, man, like forced fumble. Listen, and uh, that's what I want to see, man. And like speaking of defense, a big thing. They were, people was getting on the Vero. Fans were getting on the Vero because, his defensive scheme is very bad against tight ends, and we basically signed Darren Waller because Darren Waller went off on us last year. Like a lot of tight ends went off on us. When the Rams came back and beat us in a playoff game, they threw to their tight end 3 times, including one was a touchdown pass, I believe. So, yes, Vero struggles against tight ends, and they're wondering how is how is the team going to defeat that, like limit that problem, and he hasn't been playing in these preseason games, but I think Devin Lloyd is going to shut that down, help shut that down. Cause see, that's another one who has, yeah, he played against was it the Bills, and got like a stop and whatnot, but then the Bills sort of went against went at us that second series, and yeah, man, but he either he's gonna have to help, or, and like I said, I guess they giving Nick Scott's gonna have to somehow help, and I think for like tight end, I think it got to be Ransom, like somebody that's gonna lay the tight end out. If you're not gonna have the coverage guy, throw in Ransom. Yeah, throw in Ransom to lay out, like keep him on the tight end and lay him out. Like we gotta think of something though. I do think that's a problem. Who is okay? This Kyle Trask. See, just probably cut him. Probably cut him because yeah, yeah. And they might try to. Yeah, I about to say, if we don't put him on the practice squad, another team will pick him up. I don't know if he just falling out of favor on the team, and he's sort of mailing it in. Cause I'll say this, man. I think Trevor Wallace, he not a starter no more, man. I saw Sherlis in for the starters again. I think Sherlis the starter. Yeah. Let's. Yeah, exactly, man. He listen. He came in on a game where we was losing badly and showed out, and he's been working hard ever since. And I'm actually glad that he's getting this opportunity. And I think another, like you said, the guy Cam Gill. I think he's going to be another one, and I'm hoping he gets more opportunity as well. And it seems like on defense we could sort of get right. Nick Scott is still like that last one, but we could sort of get right on defense. Offense, it just seems like we can't like get right for some reason. Yeah, right. Yeah, they could, man. Yeah, Jackson Kuwatch. He's been looking pretty good. Um, all like the thing is, all Trevin Wallace can do for your team really is be like a dedicated blitzer because he can't offer anything else to the team. And do you want to waste a spot on that when you know what I'm saying? When you're going through some of these other linebackers like Bam Scott and some of these other ones that's actually Mechie is balling, man. Yeah, like my bad. Yeah, good on special teams. Like, hey, listen, do you need Trevor Wallace? Nah. So hopefully you could try to trade him, but that's what you look at. Like, hey, this guy, we gotta look, we got some guys that hungry, and I think they'll offer more to the team. And like I said, man, I've been calling out Trevor Wallace along, for a while, man. We've already tried, like, before that, man. They can't, like, we got to stop this, like, looking at athletes for linebackers and middle linebacker. Like, man, we should know how to get middle linebackers, man. Like, come on. Yeah, exactly. Like, we're built off, you know, great middle linebackers, and you know, like, dog, I know we was trying to reach for some guys in like the later rounds, but like, dog, we drafted AJ Klein in like what, the fourth round. You remember we was talking about like him and Dan Connor. We drafted those guys in the later rounds, and they were great linebackers. Yeah, man. Listen, yeah, I would say the same exact thing, man. Just a guy like, listen, man, you playing behind Luke Kuechly, but you coming in and basically balling when you get the chance, and just like you said, playing a role, playing special teams, playing everything, and Kyle Trask is actually all right against as far as a third string quarterback right now. Him, because he's way cheaper. but I know we already sort of paid Kenny Pickett. But Kyle Trask seems like he has some he has like the a better touch, at least in like the small immediate passing that seem like we like to call on offense. And Kenny Pickett just seems like he has like a bad, like I say, he seems like he has a bad double clutch habit would make him pass. But okay, isn't it? Like I said, I see what he's trying to call. I see what type of offense he's trying to call now. But yeah, like what were we saying before? Yeah, like AJ Klein, those linebackers. Like, come on, man. Trevor Wallace is not on the same level as those guys. Like, listen, man. We've already tried that jump with DJ Johnson and them, man. We messed up. Time to let them go. And that's the way I look at it. Like, y'all, we messed up. We already, we already know them jokers weren't qualified to be on our team. And right, right. And listen, man, I understand, maybe a Vero called for this dude. And that's why he sort of has a, sore spot for him. Just like I say, just like with DJ Johnson, man. DJ Johnson is probably the, best example of a guy who couldn't really do anything, but we kept playing him and starting him until eventually, we finally cut him. And DJ Johnson, let me see. I'm pretty sure he's not in the league. Yeah, yeah. Let's. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Listen, I totally agree, man. You know, Terrence Marshall Jr. That was another one, man. Man, man, I did too. I thought, yeah, yeah. I thought he was gonna be like a good third wide receiver, but like more of a red zone target. But it didn't click sadly. And Mingo for something he never looked good to me, man. It seemed like he struggled to catch like to sort of gauge the ball in the air. And I just looked up DJ Johnson, man. Yeah, his last year of playing was last year on a sort of practice squad contract, and that was it. He was with Washington Commanders, and he was practicing back in January 2005. Didn't make it to the final cut, and that's it. And you see, it's like, yeah, man, this Joker's like, Jokers like that is like, dog. Yeah, let me see. Let me check. Let me check Terrace Marshall Jr. first. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. And so like I said, you're right. They made Tilly Terrence Marshall Jr. Right now, he's on a reserve contract with the Dolphins. So like the year before that, he was on like a practice squad with the Eagles. And Domingo is out the league, man. He got a last year he got a PCL sprain in his right knee. Has not played since. So yeah, he wait, hold up. You know what? I lied. He's still technically with the Cowboys. Excuse me. He's still technically with the Cowboys, but he's not really played since then. So he's still technically making it with the Cowboys, but he's recovering from an injury, and uh you know yeah, man. Like I said, those guys. It's like, hey, I wish them well, but they couldn't do it with the Panthers, man. And I really hope we don't lose, like like I said, man. We got the investment in someone like Xavier Leggett, right? But I really hope we don't lose like this, specific ability that like Jimmy Horn Jr. can add to this style of offense. Because I'm like I say, man, Xavier Leggett's strength does not match the offense we're trying to do. So he's going to be out of place. I don't think so at all, man. Like I really wish we would have sort of seen, he was hurt this game, and he's not going to play in the next game. I don't think he's like a quick acceleration, like running drag routes and in arounds type wide receiver. And the stuff, I feel like the stuff we're gonna ask him to do, Jalen Coker is gonna do it, and he's gonna do it better. Like what Xavier Leggett can do better than all our receivers is he has better deep threat speed. The problem is we're not throwing the ball deep. So yeah, we're not throwing any 40-yard passes. Like, the whole thing was this dude was like, ran a 4.3 and like 6'1", 6'2", 230. He can bully people, more so like what's my man name? What's my wide receiver name? Real buff wide receiver. Huh? Say name again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like yeah, yeah. But DK Metcalf, man, yeah, fast and strong, and you know, DK Metcalf was able to he's able to play like that because he has you know um deep great speed, and he had quarterbacks throwing to him that could throw deep. The problem, the problem, I think the problem Xavier Leggett is he sort of was drafted to the wrong team, and I think at the time what we was thinking was, oh, he would mesh well with who do we have? Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo. And it's like, yeah, here's your deep threat wide receiver that could be a number one. And then we sort of realized, like, hey, this junk not working. He's not matching this offense. Like, Bryce is still throwing to Adam Thielen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, now we starting to understand his tendencies. Then we drafted T-Mac. And T-Mac flowed, pretty great on the offense. And yeah, man, like I said, man, I don't think we would get much for him, but like, man, like you sort of would have to put Xavier Leggett on the bench, and I think when you think like that, that's when you're like, okay, let's try to trade him and get whatever we can because you got like a first rounder sort of sitting down that might still have some ability. You get what I'm saying? And oh, okay, and let me see. Okay, they running this. Ooh, who was that? 30 it says Taylor, 39. Yeah, he ran a hell of a little out route, man. I mean, not out route, but like swat and go. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Cause Jassim. Cause let me look up who that. Yeah, Rock Taylor. Rock Taylor. Okay, like you got Jassim Reed who didn't. He's not playing. Man, that was a good little route and catch. and see, oh man, like I said, man, it's gonna be a hard little. It's like, see, you see somebody like that, right? And it's like, okay, he's showing some talent, and it's like, do I want to like not keep him on the team just because we didn't invest a first rounder in him? You get what I'm saying? Like, no, man, just chalk up the L and be like, hey, we went in on Leggett. It didn't work out. Here's another guy with potential, and just go. Yeah, right, right. And and like I said, man, I agree. And I think a guy like him or Reed or whatever, I think, like I said, I think they would offer more. And I do think, like I said, I do think Xavier Leggett would go to another team and could possibly do better because Xavier Leggett, he seems he's able to eat with Andy Dalton. And Andy Dalton's probably used to playing with somebody like Xavier Leggett when he had AJ Green. So it's like, okay, I know this guy, he's more of a deep threat catcher. I'm going to just have to lob it up there and, he's going to grab it. And I think, like with Xavier Leggett would probably be better with like, someone like the Bills or like the, even the Ravens, to be honest. But like, I just think for this offense, since they, sort of, like I said, I feel like that he's molding this offense. It's like this offense is gonna work, and like this is the best result that Bryce can do. And if we're gonna do it that way, that mean like any wide receiver like Xavier Leggett, they're a waste on the team. Like they're a waste. Like hey, like it's not that you're not good. It's just that And see, who is this wide receiver who just did like little smoke route for the Jaguars? See, Jimmy Horn Jr. can do routes like that. Like yeah, Xavier. Like I said, I'm not sure that's Xavier Leggett's going to be able to do catches like that or routes like that, especially as like sort of number 3 or 4 option. More so number 4, because it seemed like that style of offense we running, we really need a good tight end, which is probably why they got Darren Waller. It's like yeah, I think like I said, man, I think it's T Mac, then tight end, and then we sort of go Jalen Coker and running back, and then it's like this third wide receiver needs to be somebody that's he's more like say he's more of a like run after catch speed guy, and not like a deep threat speed guy. And yeah, man, like I said, man, he like I don't know. I think, like I said, I think if you throw, I think of it like this. All right, you have Xavier Leggett, and then you're like, yo, why is Xavier Leggett only getting like one catch a game, something like that, or getting zero catches a game? And you're thinking that because it's like, yo, you spent a first round on them. Why is he not doing anything? Versus you put Jimmy Horn Jr. there, and it's like, yo, okay, he gets a one catch or whatever, but we only spent like a fifth round on him, so he's good in that role. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, like you're not expecting that much. And like and yeah, man, just like we got to look at it like that. Like okay, in the future we might spend a first or second round on a tight end because we see how important tight end is for this offense type thing. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, man, dog. We I better yet put it like this, man. Uh, for receiving tight ends, and this is like guys we really want us to help in the receiving game. We've been terrible. Like yeah, like that's like hands down, we've been terrible at receiving tight ends, and you know, um, back then we didn't really use them that much, way back then. But like now, like it seems like we're really trying to use it in the offense. Which I can see if you're running a whole lot of play action and stretch runs. You get what I'm saying? I could definitely see how a good tight end will help that. And yeah, listen, and man, like like I said, man, we I guess we'll see how it all plays out, but like yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we'll just see how it all plays out. It's just Xavier get now. I'm sort of more so worried about him. Like, man, do you just go ahead and just be like, hey, let's see what we can get from this Joker before the season starts? Yeah, like yeah, man, because it's like, dog, we got a lot of little young talent at wide receiver. We're not gonna be able to keep them all on the practice squad. Some of these guys can come in and we got them on the team, and it's like we already know you're not a good combination for our offense. So it's like, hey, maybe we can get like a fourth rounder for you. Yeah. Pardon. That's wait. Hold up. Yeah, yeah. Third year. Yeah, third year. And yeah, man. Just hey, listen. We like, hey, we sorry, man, but like like yeah, this the best thing for the team. And and you know if someone to say, hey, Xavier Leggett got a raw deal in Carolina, I'll be like, yeah, man, you're right. Listen, you're right. We I don't think we ever should have. I think if you have somebody like Lad McConkey, he can basically do he would basically fit better because he's not like a that style offense. But I know I saw people they were saying basically they wanted Xavier Leggett to be T Mac, and he just wasn't. He's not that type. And basically they're like, hey, listen, we messed up with that draft pick. Let's go ahead and get T Mac. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, and they did it, man, and they did it, and see that, and see that's what I mean. With somebody like Kuwatch, like, hey, he got potential at linebacker. Even if you don't want to start him just yet, let him keep growing because it seems like he's showing potential. All right, cause I just like restarted this stream and cause my jump was freezing and they just showed that Jacksonville kicked a field goal. They ain't show what happened before. And see that was another one, man. When we made that pick and I looked up like how he what they were saying about him in college and why he was wasn't really scouted high and all that. I was like, hey, I see more. I see why we would give him a shot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. hmm Listen. I feel the same way, man. And Wheatley, if we don't think if we looking at like, oh, we don't know about him at free safety, at least it seemed like he can, do a little bit at the other safety position. But either way, he's showing something. And and yeah, man, like I said, man, like you said, man, you love to hear that jump. And like I said, man, it seemed like they doing that this game. So shout out to them jokers, bruh. Like, that's what I'm saying. Them type of players, man, keep them on the team, man. That's what I'm saying. Listen, keep keep that type of energy on the team, man. I'm like I said, I'm used to like the backups, are I'm saying I'm when I think about like, when Cam and Luke was there and like you said we had AJ Klein and some of them other guys, I'm used to the backups being hungry. Yeah, dog, Joe Webb was trying to eat as the third quarterback, man. Yeah. And like, that's why I didn't mind Joe Webb, staying as sort of he was like the seventh wide receiver slash third quarterback. And yeah. Like, hold on, man. Listen, I think the little stream I was watching is shut down. Guess the little sensors was like, nah, you ain't watching this game off us. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut that down. But we they but like I said, I say this, it's huh? Sure, sure. I'll say this, man. After this game, it's going to be at least a good bit of positive talk, good bit of positivity, and one thing I'm gonna try to focus on for like that one successful drive we did, the type of play calls we did for that drive, and like I said, I really think with that style of offense, and I'll say this: the problem with that style of offense is it's going to be sort of the same problem as last year, where if the team, if we don't have a run game, we pretty much can't do anything. Like we about to get our ass whooped. Like they shut down the run, we pretty much about to get our ass whooped that game. And okay, yeah, that helped, man. Appreciate that. Like but yeah, man, like what was I saying? Yeah, like that's the thing, man. That's the thing when you run that type of offense where it's like you can't really pass at all. Like people don't understand about the double trouble years. Remember well really one or two main years, but like in '08 when we had like rookie Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams, Jake Delhomme still had to pass for that offense to work. You know what I'm saying? Steve Smith still had over 1,000 yards that year. And we had Musa Muhammad and DJ Hackett. Like, man, like I said, man, that was a squad that like I said, to this day, man, I still think that was our best overall team as far as like talent. We just, we were just the weakest at quarterback. But yeah, like I said, Bryce. It seemed like I said, it just seems like Jake, like in that offense, Jake Delhomme was asked to pass more versus what we're asking Bryce to do. It seemed like we're asking Bryce, like, man, listen, if we can't run the ball, we're not gonna really ask you to do anything. And it's like I say, it's like the same as last year, just with a little twist. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Um, and yeah, man, because it's like, listen, if you're gonna run that style of offense, hold up, hold up, come on, throw it back. I see Washington caught it. Okay, let's. Yeah, Washington. That's another one. Yeah, why they run that, man? But yeah, and see, you look at, like you said, you look at that, right, in offense, and it's like, dog, imagine throwing in Haynes King, right? Because you're not asking him to pass that much, but you could sprinkle in some deep passes because he got the arm to do it. You could sprinkle in some RPO because he can run the ball, and you're not asking him to pass too much. You still want him to do the same thing, focus on T Mac, tight ends and stuff. All right. All right, Washington. Man, like, dog, I'm seeing this talent. There's other talent at wide receiver, man. I'm telling you, man. And this Kyle, like I said, man, Kyle Trask got a better sort of touch than Kenny Pickett. Yeah, yeah. And maybe it's just the type of system or offense, man. But Kyle Trask looked way more confident than Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I think somebody take his spot, man. I think, like I said, the potential to take that spot, it would be there. Um, and like I said, man, I don't think I don't think they're gonna do this as far as like with quarterback for Bryce. I think they're gonna let Bryce try, but I really do think, man, the way it's set up, it's like you're gonna get at least the same production with Haynes King, at least the same production. So if it don't work, if it don't work with Haynes King, it's probably not gonna work with Bryce, and vice versa. But at least Haynes King will give you something else to try or do if like just running doesn't work, because Haynes King himself can run. You, you, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, dog. We missed that a lot, man. We missed that a lot, and just seeing that and seeing, like, say, the arm talent. I don't think we've seen like legit arm talent in a while, and that's and see with Haynes King, if with Haynes King, Xavier Leggett's not totally useless because you can keep him as a deep threat wide receiver because you got somebody that will make that throw. Okay, you got somebody that'll make. Yeah, yeah, he didn't. He was doing a lot of, like, say, RPO and play action passes, but he did throw down the field a couple times. And I remember even seeing one highlighted pass to Mechie that was like a down the field throw, and they were saying like, yeah, that was like they felt like that was just a quality throw that not a lot of quarterbacks can make, which I agree with. You know, and yeah, Mechie, it's a lot, man. Mechie, Jimmy Horn Jr., Reed didn't play this game, but now you got to look at like Taylor and Washington, and like I said, I'm looking at all that other new young talent. You got Brazil that's injured, but he's gonna come back next year. Like I said, man, for them, I would consider, hey, let me just see what I can get for Xavier Legette because he's not, high on the pecking order for our offensive system anyway. Hmm. Right, right. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, man. That is the silver lining, and like I said, man, like you said, man, Nick Scorton, really do hope he can come back and contribute because he was, showing a lot of potential. Chris Brazil as well because it's like early on he was actually playing well in like the what do they call it before training camp, the yeah, like, well, not, but mini camp. Yeah, OTAs. Yeah, he was looking really good in OTAs because of just that speed and him at that size with that speed, and you know they were sort of they were sort of shocked by his quickness, and I was like, see, when he comes back, man, he that's a guy that's one who could jump in at that number three spot and really keep that offense flowing for like smoke routes and stuff. And but for now, I'm really hoping they see what they got right there with Jimmy Horn Jr. And even like some of these other guys like Washington, I saw they did a smoke route for him and he got a touchdown. Like that's you gotta keep looking at different wide receivers until you get the offense in that system if you really believe in that system. And yeah, yeah, you can't keep forcing like Jonathan Mingo and like like we talk about Terrence Marshall and Xavier Legette into those spots. You got to look at like, okay, these guys, we made a mistake. We're on to the next. We're gonna keep fitting players until we find everybody in that system. And I see, like I said, I see why we went for Darren Waller because, to be honest, if Jatavian Sanders was doing what he was supposed to do, he would be tight end number one, and actually be, and you know what, man, that's remember he was eating before that neck injury, and it seemed like maybe the offense was supposed to move like that. Like, hey, tight end is, yeah, and you know, like I say, he maybe didn't get it back the way he should, but now this opportunity for Darren Waller, and I wouldn't be surprised next year, man. We look at like a tight end like we was being mocked to get in next year's draft, just a athletic, talented tight end. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Tight end, like I said, yeah, with tight ends, man, the way we looking at them is sort of like how we look at some of these outside linebackers we going in the late rounds of linebackers. It seems like we don't know really how to scout them, and I don't know if we need to, just not try to scout them in the later rounds because we suck. So if we need them, draft them or sign them in free agency. Cause we can start doing that. Just hey, let's sign them in free agency because we don't know how to draft them or scout them. Um, just 1 year. And the thing is, even though he's yeah, the thing with him, even though he's technically older, um, he if we want to decide to bring him back next year, we could do that and still, like I said, and still draft another tight end because I believe Tommy Trimble's contract ends next year. And and we could bring Tommy Trimble back. I don't think he's gonna cost much. It's just that, uh, like I said, I think for what they're calling for, let me think of a tight end that would be good for this type. Like, what's the tight end that what's that young Sam Laporta? He's with the Lions. I think that Joker would have been good for this type of offense, and even like if you want to go back in Panthers history, of course, like Greg Olson, or even old Jeremy Shockey would have been really good in this type of offense because all we really need you to do is know how to run routes and catch. Like Zach Ertz, you saw what he. My goodness, man, Bryce is a short dude, bruh. they just showed him standing next. They just showed him standing next to the DN for the Jaguars, Hines Allen. Yo, man, that Joker made Bryce look tiny. I guess they was over talking. Oh yeah, and that touchdown we just gave up. Yeah, they getting see they you got that's something when they got the coach to say, listen guys, you got to play till the end of the game. I see, the game almost over, but you got to keep playing to the end because you see we just gave up that score. Right. And see whoever this running back is. See whoever this running back is right now who just ran that. Let me see who this is. Davis. Davis got poor vision. Now I don't know who this joker is, so he probably ain't gonna make the team. But like that joker got poor vision because he had a cut, he had an out open in the out, and he just ran straight into the back of our lineman. But yo, like better yet, I'll tell you who would be good. And I don't know if they, and maybe we might have been looking for this when we briefly had the wide receiver. Dog, what's the wide receiver we had that used to play for the Raiders? And we had him in camp, but he didn't make the final squad last year. Yeah, Hunter Renfro. The crazy thing is, dog. Let me see if he's open. Let me see if he's a free agent now, because Hunter Renfro would be excellent for this offense, bruh. And yeah, like he got waived last year, and that's it, man. Like, dog, he's literally the perfect third wide receiver for the offense, bro, with Jalen Coker and T Mac. That's if I was them, they probably not gonna do it now because they got all this other talent at wide receiver. But like if I was them, I would tell every like Jimmy Horn to look at tape of Hunter Renfro and say, dog, you got to aim for this. Better yet, man, let me show you this thing and look at this because one of these plays is him in a Panthers uniform, and it's like, dog, why? Like you said, I don't know why we couldn't make it work, man. Let me show you this right quick. Yeah, dog. Listen, you like me, man. I played too much franchise mode in Madden back in the day when Madden was still good. And I hate like, wasting out on like, putting this player at this team or whatever, because, I'm trying to build a mega team. Okay, I used to try to build a mega team. So it's like, dog, I want like four good wide receivers, two good running backs, all-star quarterback. I want overall 99 at all the positions. And I don't want them just, good. It's like, I want them I'm gonna give you a hint on something I used to do. And this was way back when what's his name? When we had Chris Jenkins and he was had a little special title of D tackle. But I'll be like, yo, Chris Jenkins, they had him as the under tackle, and they had Kimiotu. I remember we got him from Baltimore, Make Kimiotu as the nose tackle. I'm like, yo, I'm putting Chris Jenkins at nose tackle, and I'm about to makeshift draft a DN, and he gonna have at least 80 speed, and I'm putting him at D tackle. Like, I want speed. Like, I want speed. I'm gonna build that joker up to where you got like a 80 speed D tackle coming right in the middle besides Chris Jenkins. And I'm like, yeah, like, yo, yeah. I want jokers to play this team and like, yo, like, bump this game. Like, you remember that picture, like the boy crying while playing the controller? Yeah, I want kids trying to play the game and start crying like, this game cheating. Yeah, I'm like, yo, let me go ahead and see if I could get like Calvin Johnson on the team. Yeah, and I'm go ahead. I'm doing Calvin Johnson, Steve Smith, and I'm gonna find a way to make Dwayne Jarrett good. And like you about to have 399 wide receivers. And like I said, I used to think about all of that, and it's like, yo, like I said, I'm like, yo, I'm building this team up to be crazy dominant, and that's what I want us to do with these Panthers, man. It's like whatever position that, and this is something you just said, man. Like you sort of light at slack at, keep looking until you get better talent. Like there's a lot of guys hungry. So like keep looking until it's like, yo, you got this Pro Bowler or at least this real good hungry player at this position. I mean, yeah, because like look at Sherilis, man. Sherilis, if he come on and at least be a solid player, that's a win to me. Cause like, dog, we put you in really during garbage time. We really weren't even expecting much. It's just like, yo, we getting our ass whooped. We basically putting in second string because we looking towards the second game or the next game. And you came in and played with heart, and now you got a chance, you probably going to be a starter. And, I'm looking at the same thing with Cam Gill. It's like, Cam Gill, man, we just signed you just because you came in preseason actually making plays in multiple preseason games. Hey, maybe this Joker can mess around and be like a semi-contributor, a starter, opposite Jalen Phillips. Because, dog, we used to do that, man, at DN with Mario Anderson and, Al Wallace back in the day. We used to pick up some, like, good backup defensive ends or pass rushers, and we got to keep, like I said, we just got to keep looking. And I don't know, man. We like I said, we'll see. Even Kyle Trask, man. I'm not gonna lie. When they was talking about him, I was just like, oh man, you tried to sign him with the Bucks, it didn't happen. I wasn't really thinking much. I'm like, he's probably gonna be worse than Kenny Pickett. But just watching him just now, I'm like, yo, this Joker he's either better than Kenny Pickett or way more comfortable in this offense than Kenny Pickett. And I'm like, either way, it's like, yo, think about keeping him. Yeah, his play is smoother. And it seemed like it seemed like he knows how to, because he's confident. Now you get to see guys like Washington and like some of these other, low wide receivers actually do something. You get to see. Yeah, they just basically clocked out the time. Like nip. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that's crazy, but yeah, like I guess if they know you can sort of kneel it down, it's like, hey, it's game over if you don't want to feel like playing anymore, which I guess is what we did. But yeah, what was the final score? Like 34-17. I say this, man. Shout out to the backups. I felt like the backups played real hard. For the I'll say for the starting offense, they played all right. They did enough to where, if you're an optimist, man, you're gonna like that drive. And I'll say if that's the type of drive or offense they want to run, they did enough for me to see what they're trying to do. Just that, it's just a matter of, do I think that's the right way to go? It's like, for Dave Canales and them, yeah. For the offense overall and Bryce, no. Because think about like with Sam Darnold, Super Bowl winning Sam Darnold that we brought up. When he went to the Vikings, they could have told him like, "Yo, we don't trust you to be like a true passer, even though we got Justin Jefferson here. We just gonna run this sort of like run first offense behind who did they have? Because they got like a good running back. What's the guy name? Let me see if I can look it up again. And I feel like it start with a D. Not. Okay, man, why does Vikings running back? Yeah, Aaron Jones and I guess Jordan Mason, they just had it, but Aaron Jones, they say, yo, we just gonna you know, put the offense behind Aaron Jones. Okay, Aaron Jones had 1,100 yards that year, right? And they got Cam Akers, who added a little bit of that, but you running behind Aaron Jones, but they tell him no, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be the complement. Like you got Justin Jefferson. We gonna play behind the offense. Justin Jefferson that year had 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns. Led the NFL with 20 with the most receptions over 20 plus yards. And can't do that next year because basically last year because Sam Darnold gone and JJ McCarthy couldn't do it. But that coach was like, "Yo, I'm going to play you like a downfield throwing quarterback because of the talent we got." And sad to say, I think what we're doing is you're not giving Bryce that same grace. And like I said, that might be just because like, dog, we really don't believe we really see you can't do it. That probably is a big part of it. But like, I'm just saying, man, see with that Vikings offense, if you stop the run, you still got the pass game. Okay, you trying to stop, you're trying to stop the pass game. Okay, we're gonna start running the ball more. Like with us, like I said, man. Yeah. Yeah, with us, man. Yeah, the way we doing it, it's like our pass game is threatening because of our run. So if we can't and like I said, we saw this with the Bills. If we can't run the ball, then the other team don't really have anything to worry about in the pass game because we would have to throw the ball most of the time, and it seemed like we can't do that. And I don't know, man. And like I said, it's almost like another form of same old shit, man. It's just it's because it's like, dog, I see games like, yeah, I could see us playing like Baltimore and Baltimore just spanking us, man, because it's like, damn, we not gonna be able to run the ball. But then it's like, okay, the Falcons not that good. You see the offense do a little bit more then. I can see it, and then I can see 8 and 9. It's like I can see 8 and 9 again, man. Even 7 and 10. I can see it, maybe more 7 and 10 or less because we got harder teams this year. But I can see how them teams can beat us down because it's like, yo, y'all don't got Rico. Jonathan Brooks is good, but he's not Rico. So, yeah. We gonna see. We gonna see if he, and I'm gonna cross my finger. I think if Jonathan Brooks can overall be that good, that's gonna change my opinion a lot because then I'm gonna be like, yo, he's sort of leading or carrying the offense, and a lot of Bryce style in that offense will play off of him extremely well. And yeah, yeah, because AJ Dillon is a good backup. I think ETN is a good backup. I think Chuba would be an excellent backup. I think Chuba would be an excellent backup with Jonathan Brooks because, like I say, Jonathan Brooks can he'll do more out the backfield, which is what they want him to do. Seem like he's a way better catcher. Um, but Jonathan Brooks, man, he like I said, man, he's becoming more important than I thought he was going to be. And it's almost like I see why they traded up for him in the second because maybe they had that envision, and him getting hurt sort of delayed that vision. Cause I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna do some little research because I got this like idea what this system they trying to run. I want you to think back when the Chiefs had Alex Smith, right? And they had, like I say, one of my favorite running backs, Jamal Charles. And I'm gonna try to go back and find that exact team or who they had around it. But I think they had like Jeremy Maclin. Um, their offense was Jeremy Maclin, and then it was mainly like Jamal Charles. Though Jamal Charles was like doing running in offense and catching, but then they had Jeremy Maclin, and basically that was the offense. Better yet, let me see if I can find that right quick. But I feel like we running that same offense, and what I would tell us is like, yo, if you see a Patrick Mahomes in the future, do not pass up that. But like, hey, it can work. This. Let me see. Let me see. All play together 2015. Yeah, 2015 season. Let me look at a 2015 2016 season stats. Dog, listen. It's crazy the stuff, you sort of think about it, yeah, dog. 2015 DC McFadden's, man, in Georgetown. That was a perfect bar, man. They shut that junk down for two major reasons. One being the Georgetown area just didn't like having a bar, and two, I think somebody got stabbed out there, just randomly stabbed, and the Chiefs went through a poor start. There you go. Listen, the Chiefs went 1-5, right? Then bust out 10 straight wins to end 11-5. And let me see who they had. Come on, where's the Pro Bowlers? Um, and then beat the Texans 30-0 in the playoffs. And Eric Berry. That's it. I remember old Eric Berry. I believe he the one. Yeah. Who they? Oh, and they lost to the Patriots, and of course the Patriots. Of course, but Uh-huh. Okay, I think this the year I'm talking about, 2016 year. That's when they got Jeremy Maclin, and they went. Let's see what they went, 12-4, and they drafted Tyreek Hill. But the offense was basically Jeremy Maclin and Jamal Charles, and Dan Eric Berry was balling for them on defense. But like I said, I'm gonna do some deeper research. But I feel like I gotta see how that offensive style was playing. But I feel like that's what they were doing with Alex Smith, because I don't think Alex Smith was like a deep thrower, deep deep ball thrower. But then I think they noticed that and was like, yo, here's a guy we looking at coming up, because the team is good. The team is good. We went 11-5 and then 12-4, but we got a guy, Patrick Mahomes, who can do all of that. And Patrick Mahomes didn't start immediately, but once he came on, man, it was on fire. And the Panthers, we sort of in the position because it's like, yo, Haynes King could be that guy that could do it all. We just not really. Yeah, we just don't. We just not really trying to explore that for some reason. And but just like with that, I could see how that offensive style would work well. And I see, like I said, I see why. I can see how it would work. It just, it's certain players. It's certain players that's just gonna be bad for, like Xavier Legette. You got to get rid of him. You gotta You're gonna have to get a new tight end. You're gonna have to get a tight end that actually can catch, like basically Travis Kelce. Because that's what you want. You want a good catching tight end. So we're going to have to find that. And Jonathan Brooks, he's going to have to really turn into a great all-around running back, or you're going to have to keep looking for that. And, I actually, from what I actually believe more in Jonathan Brooks. The problem is, it's just like even Darren Waller. I think he could do all right. I feel like they, asking Bryce to do that type of offense. I feel like we in a unique position to explore with somebody else, and I feel like they're gonna mess up. And then like with with Sam Darnold, it's like you see them with another team, and it's like, dang man. This Joker took this team to the Super Bowl. Like, they unlocked them, basically. This other team unlocked them. Yeah. Like, so Sam Darnold figured it out. Even, like, technically, you can say Baker Mayfield figured it out. We went to the Rams and then the Bucks. And I feel like, we're trying to make Bryce figure it out, but it's like you got somebody else that can figure it out because his skill set is better. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I'll say this though. Bryce is gonna start the season. And like I said, man, that first game gonna be a hard hitter. Okay, that first game against the Bears is gonna be a hard hitter, man. Because Ben Johnson, I already know he's going to cook up something. I already know. Yeah, his defense going to eat us. I mean, his offense, going to eat our defense. I already know that. They're going to put up at least 20-plus points. I just don't know if we can be able to keep up with that. Yeah, dog. Listen. That's when that's the crazy thing. The crazy thing people don't realize. I mean, fans do. When Cam had that MVP postseason, we was a high-powered offense. Like, yeah. And it's like And there's stuff like, imagine if Devin Funches actually became an okay wide receiver. Not even good, just okay wide receiver. Imagine if Devin Funches just become okay. We could have had, like, imagine if you know, instead of Kelvin Benjamin, we draft Devontae Adams. And you put him with Cam, you know? Um so like just that. So it'd be Devontae Adams, Devin Funches, Ted Ginn. But just having Devontae Adams, man, like I said, man, it would be an even higher powered offense. And like, man, we just, and the thing was with Cam compared to like Bryce, we just never decided like, yo, let's fix this offense and keep building up on it. Like, let's get some old linemen and, more wide receivers. We were still, like, let me, let me look at that draft after and get pissed off again, because not only did we pick defense when we shouldn't have picked that shit, we picked somebody who was sorry as hell, Vernon Butler. Dog, that joke, man. Get him in, dog. Listen, that man still can't walk in Charlotte. He banned. Listen, he banned from Charlotte. Like yo, like it's legit on site. Let me hold up. What? Hold up. Hold up. What? Okay, maybe I'm skipping. I'm trying to find that draft. Was it this one? Vernon Butler. That's Marcus Peters. No, that's the Shaq Thompson one. That's. Wait, hold up. Was it after Bradbury? My bad. I'm trying to. Oh, okay. Yeah, they are, man. Okay, man. Like I said, man, that draft hard for. Yeah, that dog. That draft is hard for me to look at because I'm like, yo, what the fuck were we thinking? I'm like, okay, look at these wide receivers. Okay, these wide receivers aren't great, but just look at it. You give Cam, just give Cam, okay, just give Cam Sterling Shepard. Like, damn, we'll take that. Give him Michael Thomas. For the Saints. Tyler Boyd. He was the wide receiver for the Bengals. Still balling. Just give him that, man. You don't even gotta give him like a bona fide number one wide receiver. Yeah, something to work with, man. You know, um, yeah, like hey, you don't gotta, take a chance with Tyreek Hill, anybody like these other guys did. Let me let me look at the draft before where we even drafted like Shaq Thompson, because we didn't have to take him, to be honest. But like Nelson Alcohol, try him, man. Um, let me let's see, because we drafted Shaq Thompson. Yeah, 25. Uh, you know what, man? That draft had a lot of wide receiver busts, because we actually did do Devin Funches after. Never mind. Dog, that year was a horrible year for wide receiver. We should have got probably Tyler Lockett instead of Devin Funches. I think he had like athletic potential. He just didn't have the heart for it, and like somebody on our scouting team should have realized that, like, yo, this Joker don't love football, so he's never gonna reach his potential because he don't love playing football. Somebody should have got that, but I mean, he had potential because he was tall and he was like say he was like in shape compared to like Kelvin Benjamin. It it's just like I said, he wanted to play basketball. Yeah. If Kelvin Benjamin actually like worked out and Devin Funches actually developed heart, I see how it could work. I see how it could work, man, because Kelvin Benjamin would still eat with the quick passes and stuff, and he would develop more of his game like he was doing before he tore his ACL. Um, Devin Funches, what he would add is he would be a smoother athlete, so he could still, offer a little bit more speed, but still have that same height and stuff. And then Ted Ginn still do Ted Ginn stuff. And yeah, I see how it could have worked. The problem is, you got to look at these players' hearts, and sometimes that's hard to gauge. But sometimes if you talk to him, like I'm pretty sure he's telling I'm pretty sure somebody's telling you like, yo, his basketball is his true love. He just can only really make it in football. But yeah, man. But you know what, guys? Like I said, the game is over, man. I know we've been going for a while. Final thoughts. Hmm. Right. Right. Man, listen, that sounds good. Really, I don't really got anything else to add. Just like I said, man, we got some optimism, man, some stuff to look forward to, and like I said, I'm gonna be doing some research on the type of offensive system I think we're gonna be running for to get success, and just like you said, just hoping they make the right decisions with the depth. Um, and yeah, man, that's it. So, well, but all right, man. This is it. Appreciate y'all. Checking us out. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, man. Please like and subscribe, and we'll be back later. So peace, everybody.